All right, hello everyone. Daniel Flowerdew here. Laura Lee Mystica.
Did you miss us?
I hope so. It's been a long time.
I missed us.
I know.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been way too long. A lot of updates have taken place in the time. We've had our lives just full of missions and all kinds of work, and that's part of the reason why it's mischief.
Yes.
That's part of the reason why it's taken so long for us to get more videos out to you guys. We have just been slammed left and right dealing with emergencies and hologram shattering
Weird
things.
shit.
Like, lots and lots of weird shit. So we pulled together a couple of our recent stories to be able to share with you guys on some of the things that we've done. And but before we get into that, just
First of
know
all,
that
I want to. He's upgrading everything.
yes,
That's number
everything.
one. Tell him about your upgrades.
So here soon, I will be making a link tree so people can see all of my links, but I'm on a local healer's website for people in the Coeur d'Alene, Athol area.
That's
I'm
Athol,
also,
not Assel.
yeah, Athol, Idaho. But a lot of us locals do call it Asshole, Idaho. It's a beautiful place. It's just a weird name. It's just a weird name. I'm also going to be on an international website where there's 6,000 healers, massage therapists, acupuncturists, energy workers, the whole shebang. And then I'm working on revamping my own personal website and just a lot of updates on that. So eventually I'll make a link tree so that way I can just use one link to put on all of my you want to know where to follow me, just go here. It has everything. So yeah, that's pretty much my main update.
Oh, I have an update.
Yes.
We're working on Mystic House. We're on the downhill stretch. We're totally redoing it, and it's a futuristic retro site.
Ooh, I look forward to seeing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're on the downhill stretch. It's taken a while. We've had a lot of interruptions, and but we're getting there.
Yeah, technology stuff takes a long time, especially you'll hear this from other people that have a lot of energy too, that it's like watches, phones, computers, they just don't like us.
No.
Especially when we're doing things to help share important information. That seems to be when the technology works a little less. Or completely stops.
Another update is that my book distributor, they got bought out, and the new owner asked about half of the books. And guess whose books were on that list? Me. All my books.
Yeah, so the cryogenetics one, to the ghost book, the Indigo House.
Yep. And so I've been scrambling to try to figure out how to redo that, and so we'll let you know on the next one what's happening with that. But it's really scary, and at least they told me before they threw them away. So
yeah, didn't that happen with the ghost books at one point where they just threw them away and didn't tell you or Ronnie?
Yeah.
So, already printed books that you paid for. That's
that happens. So.
Bad business. That's bad business on their part. You're just throwing away someone's money. That's not cool.
I'm not telling them.
Not telling them. So there have been a lot of things we've been working on in our personal lives as well as with clients. It's made it really hard to get together and to make these videos because...
Yeah, well, the last time you were here, we had so much going on and weird shit.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what asshole we took down then, but it was
intense.
That's been like a month ago, and so
Oh, I do remember actually. Yeah, so
he's got a good memory.
It sometimes. Surprisingly, all the years of smoking pot didn't do away with my memory. It did affect it, but not permanently. So one of the stories that we are going to share here today does involve the entity that we got rid of last time. It was his name was Azrael. He was technically people nowadays would call them bi-gendered or something. They were male and female. They were kind of half-half, but they were artificial intelligence. They weren't they weren't one of the good guys. We'll put it that way.
No, you wouldn't want to go hang out with them.
No. And he was the main CEO of one of our fun stories for you today. So I'll share that now because we didn't have that part written down in the notes. So when we talk about those things, you'll know. But yeah, it's just just a little spoiler alert. It's coming eventually, sometime in the next half hour or so. So
you have this story.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was doing in the last couple of weeks, this was maybe a week ago, I was helping a client out. She went to this party with all of these, pretty well-paid people, we'll say. Some of them were pretty high up. She ended up talking with someone, and she kept feeling like, I do not want to be here. I need to go. But she kept hearing one of her guides saying, no, you need to stay your ground here. You need to stick around for this. Poor thing ended up having an entity attached to her. It didn't cause her any harm. It did scare her and her family, but it never actually came into the house. It was always on the outside, the windows peering in. She was protected the entire time, but this thing was terrifying. They were over 2,000 years old, and they started off as a human, but throughout all of the years of magic and manipulation, they ended up becoming half Djinn. I think they already had the DNA for it. For those of you who don't know about the Djinn, go back to the show that you and Nancy did.
That was
too
freaky.
long.
Yeah, it's been 2 years. I don't know.
It's been about 2 years. It's been a long time. But yeah, definitely check out that video. If I remember to, I'll put a link in the description.
I'll try to remember
to. We got each other's back. We'll hopefully remember between the two of us. We'll see how good my memory is. But now that I made such a big deal of it, I'm sure I'll remember.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So the Djinn are basically beings that are created by smokeless fire, right? That is part of the tradition of where Djinn come from. And they're very magical beings. And a lot of them...
They're conjured.
Yeah. And a lot of them were evil.
Yeah, most of them, yeah.
So we took out the evil ones, and now we have Djinn on our side. Mm-hmm. We differentiate between Djinn and genies. So okay, let me go back. So the Djinn is the one that we talk about when we talk about the bad guys. The genies are the ones we talk about for our allies. Yeah. So yeah.
Just so you know.
Just so you know. But yeah, after taking out that entity, they had 200,000 people working underneath them and directly connected into someone that we're going after right now that we really can't share a lot of information yet. All that we can say is...
He's an asshole.
Yeah. It's number one thing on his resume is that he is an asshole. And, this entity, this half Djinn, had a huge role in, hospitals and hospices, keeping people suffering as long as possible without letting them leave the body. There's still some issues with that and other entities to take out, but he was one of the big ones. He was a big player. Like I said, he was over 2,000 years old. He's been around for a while. Yeah. But yeah, man, taking him out threw me through a loop. I slept so good that night.
No tossing and turning.
No tossing and turning. I was out. So yeah, that's pretty much, we're still finding a lot of these people out there. There's still quite a few to go after. But
it's
not as many
as it was last year.
Yeah, so, yeah. Not as many as there was last month.
That's true. So I wanted to say happy July 14th. It's over, I know, but that's our Hal holiday.
Yes.
And we got together with some of our HRT buddies and celebrated all of our accomplishments. And we were all just floored at what we had accomplished over the last year. It was awesome. It was.
And
half of the stuff I'd forgotten, you do all this stuff and you go next, and then you forget what happened last month and 2 months
Yeah.
ago, and yeah.
Yeah, so, that's something that we recommend everyone start doing, on the 14th of July, make a list. Prior to that, make a list of,
Yes.
your accomplishments throughout the year. Just how many timeline therapies have you done? How many programs did you break down? Did you get a new job? Do you feel better in your life? It could be anything. You woke up. You woke up and you kept moving through it, even though you're getting attacked left and right. That is an accomplishment.
That is.
So, make a list of all of your accomplishments. And then on the Haliday, get a little root beer, alcohol-free, of course,
yes.
and popcorn. And sit back and celebrate and read through your list. And just really congratulate yourself for what you did in that year.
And do it with friends.
And then make a list of things that you would like to see accomplished in the future, in the upcoming year. Now, when we do this in our group, we'll get together and we'll play songs on YouTube. Like last year we did from Starship. How does that song go? Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now.
Yes.
Yeah. And we were all dancing and celebrating, and there's a lot of good songs like that. The Messenger from David Arkenstone. That's another one that we do.
Really good.
No More Lies.
Yes.
For those of you who haven't listened to that, definitely look into that song.
It's on my channel. So
Yeah. It is metal. It is hard rock.
Like
so
cool
for those of you who have a hard time with that, just turn the volume down a little bit.
But
don't put it on full blast unless you're like me and
I love
you like
full
that.
blast.
So, oh
Just,
yeah,
like, get you
Oh, yeah.
going. I love it. So we'll let you know hopefully before the July 14th next year, so you can get working on that. Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about something that when I found out, I'm like, really? That's a thing? Really? And it's the Department of Injustice. And there's also a Bureau of Injustice and also a Department of Control and a Bureau of Control.
Mm-hmm.
And these are real things.
Yeah.
And we've been going after them. And all of the injustice things, it's like, you look around, you're like, is there any justice in the justice system? It's like very little.
Yeah.
Every once in a while something leaks through, but
Every once in a
not.
while you'll find a good attorney or a good judge or a good police
Every
officer.
once in a while,
but
and a little bit of justice leaks through, but mostly no.
Yeah. And there's a lot involved with these departments too. I think one of them had 12 different branches or something like that. And we had to go through and we had to find the individual branches. And
we'll have
this is where Azrael came in,
That's how we
because
found
he
him.
was
Yeah. He
that's
was
how
one
we
of the
found
bosses.
Azrael. He was the CEO of
That's
the
right.
Department of, I think he was Injustice. I think he
Yeah.
was the CEO of the Department of Injustice. So he
think
wasn't
you're
the
right.
official boss, but he was the CEO, and he overlooked several different branches. And that led us to find the bosses. We can share that. So
Okay.
basically, there were 3 main bosses behind a ton of things going on down here. Pretty much everything, and no one knew about them. They're
very cloaked.
They were archetypes.
Yeah.
They were the archetype male, the archetype female, and then there was a child as well that was kind of its own species entirely. It was
very strange.
It was very,
life
very
form.
different. Like when I first found this child, it reminded me of on the Passion of the Christ. I don't know if you ever watched that movie, but there's this one terrifying scene where they're crucifying, they called him Jesus, but there's a lot, he would have been Yeshua, but whatever.
Yeah.
But while they were hanging him up there, they looked out into the crowd and they found Satan with this little demon baby, super terrifying. Couldn't tell if it, was it humanoid, was it alien? This thing just looked, not human. And that's kind of what
That's what this
that's
looked
what this baby was like, this child. And we even discovered that the D-Monster knew about them, but kept her distance from them. She didn't care to fight them.
It was very weird. It was like she
Mhm.
it's like, okay, I'll just
gonna look the other
yeah,
way, literally.
It was so
yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
She didn't want to fight them. She didn't want to align with them. It's just like, okay, just okay.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
It's still weird to me.
It is still weird. And most of the higher up people had no idea that these archetypes were behind all of this. You know,
And these archetypes are where now?
oh, they're gone.
Yes.
Yeah, we took them to zero.
Yes, they're gone.
They're
Zip,
gone.
boop.
Yep, same
Yep.
with all of the implants they had in every person on the planet.
Oh yeah.
It
They
takes
were
us a while to go through
mystified.
all of
That was that took a while.
Yeah, it takes a while. But yeah, so
Do you want to do that or do you want to do this?
well, this goes in with the
Okay.
Department of
Okay, so maybe this one?
Sure.
Okay.
And we literally just made these notes like 5 minutes before coming on here, so we're just like,
because I couldn't
okay.
find my notebook with my notes in it, so we're like, okay, oh crap, what are we gonna
but
do?
we had the time today, and we're like, we're gonna make it happen.
We're gonna do
So,
it.
okay.
Even if it's silly, we're gonna do it.
Which ties in perfectly with.
Yes, it does. Okay. So this is a meme that I'm gonna be putting out, and it is the only way we can ever have free will is if we find a way to outwill all the things that are stealing and damning our free will. End of story.
Yep, end of story. That's everything
We don't have free will. People say, oh, we've got free will. No.
No, and there's
Not
multiple
now.
layers to that. You know, we have to know ourselves, for one. We have to get rid of implants. We have to get rid of the curses, the forced agreements. You know, we really don't have free will. There's so much mind control, brainwashing, you know, and brainwashing takes a long time to overcome. You know, the mind control does too, but the brainwashing, it's like, I was thinking about it a couple of nights ago, and it's like sometimes to outdo the brainwashing, you have to brainwash yourself with new information to then outdo that brainwashing, so then you have a clear slate moving forward.
Well, it's not really brainwashing, it's awakening. The new information would be awakening, not brainwashing, but it was, it's like, and it takes a while, and we're getting there, but all these people, it's like, oh, we have free will, we can do whatever we want. It's like, I don't think so. I
and the Dark Lords know it.
Can you do whatever you want?
No.
I can't
no.
either.
No, if I wanted to
best.
get on the plane, and go overseas right now, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, if I wanted to, you know, levitate this table in front of me.
Even though
are we capable of doing it?
Even though you know how.
But,
so there's things that have been squishing our free will, and dang it, we're gonna get rid of that, because the only way to have free will is to outwill what these Dark Lords have done to us. So just kind of think about that, and
and think about how it applies in your life too.
Yeah.
You know, yesterday we were having dinner and we were talking about the rules that we have that have been passed down from generation to generation. Like, make sure to fold all your clothes. You know, you have to always have a vase with flowers in your bathroom, or you know, it has to look a specific way to fit in.
And what do you want yours to look like?
Okay, so when I was a kid, the one thing I always wanted was glow-in-the-dark stars, and then like the whole 70s like spaceship, you know, like a what are those called, little fiber optic lights, and you know, glow-in-the-dark stuff, glow-in-the-dark aliens, you know, just all the fun things like that. But I don't think my grandma would let me do that, so you know.
And it's her house, so you know,
But what brought it up is this simple little thing of salad dressing. You know, one of the things I started doing since coming here is, you know, getting like a vegan mayonnaise and mixing in like teriyaki sauce or something, and, you know, making my own flavors and mix it in. For the longest time, I had to have salad dressings for a salad. And now I'm like, but these things taste so much better.
Make your own.
Make your own. Have fun.
Way.
Use your own sauces. Just get creative.
So you were doing your free will at that time.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. Learning more about my free will, and
and that you can make things, and you don't have to have it made for you. Very good. I like that.
Yeah. For those of you who want to try like the Follow Your Heart Chipotle vegan mayonnaise, if you like spicy stuff,
Yeah.
that is the best.
And my favorite is Follow Your Heart vegan mayonnaise with
Coconut Secret.
Coconut Secret.
Mm-hmm.
Nums. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, let's see. Oh, there's a story about Never Never Land. Okay. It's like actually a place, and when I found it, I'm like, really? A lot of these things, don't you go, really? That's a place?
A lot of my clients are used to me saying, "Wait, what? You're serious, right? No, wait, yeah, okay." Let me double check that.
So, I was working with a client, and what I found is that someone from the Department of Injustice nabbed my client and replaces him with an AI shove-in. So it's like, boink, and we put AI shove-in in there, and then the being that was there goes to Never Never Land. Okay, oh, this is a far out place, okay? Never Never Land is hell. Okay, it's very depressing, and no one who is there deserves to be there. It's not like, oh, you did a bad thing, you're going to hell. Oh no, this is just people that they nab, and they're like, okay,
it's not their
send
karma.
them to Never. No, it's not.
They
Not
did
at
not
all.
deserve it.
No. And what I found is that there was 300 million inhabitants there at this Never Never Land. I don't know if I checked for any more of them. There might be another one out there or something.
I think there is.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but...
Okay, we'll put it on our to-do list. Okay.
One more thing on the to-do list. Just in case we start knocking something off that to-do list.
Yeah,
we'll add
really.
3 more.
So there was 300 million inhabitants plus 50 different security AIs monitoring it. So once you go in there, you don't get out. And then the louche made from this place was, of course, sold on the black market. And in this place, you get whatever you don't like, okay? So if you don't like the color mustard yellow, guess what color your house and your bedroom and all the houses in the neighborhood are? And everything's mustard yellow. And you're just like, ah. Okay. And
I don't know if anyone likes that color.
Yeah, I don't either.
If you're out there and you do like it, I don't mean to offend you, but that's a terrible color. Oh, just kidding. If you like it, you do you. Okay, whatever.
Okay, and then if you don't like cauliflower, guess what you get for every meal? Okay?
So like everyone got broccoli.
Yeah.
So everyone got broccoli.
No, they didn't. They got cauliflower. Everybody else got broccoli.
I'm just saying, most people don't like broccoli. You know, it's like a
well, if they
cultural
don't like
thing,
broccoli,
right?
Then that's what they get.
So everyone got broccoli.
If you don't like,
with no cheese.
Yeah. If you don't like, what's something that people don't like?
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. Okay. Can you imagine having that every day, even if you like it? Like every day for every meal, that's what you get. Okay, and now the thing is, the things that you like to do, like if you like to swim and surf and paint, you're forbidden. You can't do any of that stuff. So everything is like depressing and miserable, and what I was getting is that no one has ever escaped from Never Never Land. Once you go there, you're locked in to this misery of everything that you hate. So I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, it was the hell.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So I stealth egged everyone in there and found the AI running it and found his bosses that were outside Never Never Land. And this AI, he ruled 500 other Never Never Lands. And so I stealth egged him and all the 500 other Never Never Lands. And, you know, with 500 never, and there's still more out there. What the hell? There must be another boss somewhere that has other Never Lands.
We'll check on that
We'll
later.
get that. Yeah.
We'll check that later.
So, got his intel and then found Azrael, who we found was an illegitimate child of Marduk. Mardudu head is what we call him, was involved. And two of our home team members, Bab and Jane, had him by him and his nanny that brought him up, because he was like ousted. It's like, you're a bastard child, get out of here. I don't want to hear your name. Just get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
So she had him by the scruff of the neck. Yeah, but he turned out to be like as big of an asshole as his dad. You know,
he followed that bloodline.
He followed that bloodline.
Yeah.
So I put them in stasis, and then we needed them for something. And then I had Tesla and Xenolock and Cryon and Pingu turn off and dismantle all of the AIs. And then we had the eggs transport everyone to rehab that was inside the hologram. Everybody that was in there got their little transport eggs, and soon they went to rehab. So they all got rescued. And then we took to zero, totally eliminated all of the Neverlands. And then we replaced them with Hal's Healing Humor Realms and Laughing Gas. And they're run now by our little evil begone beings. Now you tell them what they look like.
So these are my, I can't really say
Some
they're
of
my
your
favorite, but they're some of my
they're
favorite.
So cute.
And they're so easy to work with, and they're fire resistant and everything. Like, they're epic. But if you've ever watched the movie Gremlins, if you remember the Mogwai, little Gizmo, that's what he looks like. And I'll probably have a picture on there
we'll
too.
Have to do that. Cute little things.
So cute.
But so cute. Like, you don't mess with them. Like,
one can split off into Dectillion, and they're masters at exterminating evil in all of its form, and corruption in all of its forms.
Amazing. And so that was a perfect place for them to monitor this evil begone beings. And they were all in for that. They thought that was awesome.
I think one of my favorite stories with them is I was doing a timeline therapy session with someone, and we brought the evil begone beings. And during the cleanup, they came down in little parachutes. One of them had a huge chainsaw. One of them had a big metal bat. And they went in and they cleaned house. There was a really evil entity that was involved in that timeline. And they went in and they beat the living beep out of it. Like, you know.
They're awesome.
They're just cute, but man, you know, you don't want
to.
You can tell when you're a good person because they'll snuggle up with you. They're super cute and fuzzy and fun. They will not do that for evil people.
Nope.
They will kick butt.
Yep. So start calling them in and seeing if they'll work with you when you do this stuff. So. There was something else, but I don't have it written here. You were going to tell a story.
I already did.
Oh, you already did?
Yep.
Anything else?
Well, with all the updates that we're going through, you know, I recently did up my prices.
Oh, another update.
Yeah, another update. So when people go onto my website, they'll see that. And I did this for multiple reasons. For one, there's not a whole lot of people that can do what we can do. You know, and it is very exhausting. You know, I can normally get maybe 2 or 3 clients in a day, depending on how those sessions go. Sometimes I can only do one every 3 or 4 days because they can wipe me out.
It does.
Yeah.
And then you get targeted, you know, with the stuff that we do. We go and poke the bear, and you know, we're the targets for. You know, days and days after. So it is not an easy thing, for sure.
No, it's a lot of work. So can't really think of much else here. You know, for our little body hack to share here.
Oh, you got one.
And it's one that we've already talked about before. It's not necessarily a body hack so much as an energy hack to help you to take back your powers. You can take back your free will, and that is unplugging.
Oh yeah,
Now,
right
there's
there, I forgot.
multiple
Yes.
different ways to do this. One thing a lot of people talk about is grounding, right? And they talk
Mm-hmm.
about putting roots down into the earth. I don't do that. I've never liked it. And I normally recommend to my clients not to do it either. I've talked with Gaia, and Gaia said, no,
No.
ground into yourself.
Yeah.
You know, the earth is already dealing with enough. It doesn't need all
Ground
of
into your core
all your
star.
junk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
This
ground
is
into your core.
this is this is where you go. You don't.
But you can still do earthing. You know,
Different.
it's
Different.
completely different.
Yes.
So walking on the ground barefoot is an amazing way to decrease the inflammation in your body and to really unplug. You know, if you're stepping outside barefoot and you're doing the unplugging techniques, there's some in the first cryogenetics book and then also in the Knight's training course. I believe it's the first official video. There's the intro and then the first video. It's the first video. It'll say it on there. If you go on there to get it, it'll say unplugging.
And it's vital right
it
now.
is.
It's vital because if we don't learn how to unplug, we just get carried away with the waves.
Yeah. Like currently right now, there are a lot of fires going on. You know, it's damaging a lot of houses, hurting a lot of people, killing a lot of people, and innocent people too. So people are going to see that in the news and they're going to automatically start getting pulled into it. Well, if you can unplug from the situation and take back your power, you can then use your authentic magic to help change the outcome for all of the people involved. But you can't do that as well. I guess you kind of can, but you can't do it as easily when you're in the middle of it.
And running the fear frequencies through your avatar. It's
through all of your nervous system. Yeah.
It's very challenging. So yeah, we'll put a link to the Knight's training, and I have to go back and watch, and you know, you forget this stuff. But it's really, really important to unplug from the system, from all the crazy. Take some breaths and go, okay, let me find another route. I don't need to go down this route. I can go over here and then end up
and it is a
there.
big part in taking back our free will. It really is. And I call it energetic hygiene. You know, because it really is what it is. When you get all that stuff stuck on you, all that fecal matter stuck on you from all the world around you, you start to stink a little bit. So you got to clean it up and, you know, lighten up a little bit.
That's true.
I do want to share some of my favorite unplugging techniques.
Okay.
Just, you know, 3 of them. One of them being the earthing. You know, that is tremendous and so valuable. And you can also do it by hugging a tree. I do totally recommend to people to hug a tree. They can be a little naughty and a little sappy, but you know, if you play your cards right, you don't want to get it in your eye. It sucks. I've been there, done that. One of my other favorite techniques is to do a cord cutting. Now, when you do it right, you're cutting your cords off from everyone, the people you love and the people you don't love, the people who are feeding off of you, the people who are feeding you, if that's the case. So that way you're unplugging from everything and getting back into yourself, so that way you can realize, oh, okay, I don't want to be, I'm not a feeder, you know, I have my own internal creative abilities. Time to really step back into that. So first thing is cutting the cords, you know, top, bottom, left, right, all over. There's a mode in the eggs that do this, right?
It's a sickle egg that goes around you and cuts everything this way and then around this way and just go, oh, take care of me, thank you, take care.
And then and then I'll imagine a little bottle of Aurora Light water in like a spray bottle, and I'll spray myself with it, so that way it dissolves all of the connecting points for those cords, and then I'll spray all of the cords with it too, so it'll go back with truth and justice. And after that, you know, do the figure 8, get refilled back up, and then I'll ask my guides to do a tea strainer, right? Now, if you work with the evil begone beings, they can do this for you. Some of us are able to do it on our own, but, you know, for people who aren't really used to doing that, really call in your authentic, uncompromisable, and true guides. You know, have a session with us to figure out who your guides are if you haven't figured them out. Who the real ones are, not who's trying to smooze you, but who's actually there to help you. And they can do the tea strainer on you and help you to get that stuff cleared off.
And a tea strainer is, we'll have to put a picture. So you got your egg. So you've got your egg around you, and then a bigger egg comes around, and goes through the little egg and has a tea strainer. It goes like that and just takes all of that crap out. And then when it's taken out, I always put it over to the side here, and then I scan it and see how much crap is in there. And usually it's like full, 100% full. I'm like, okay, we're going to neutralize that. And
Yep.
and then the second one isn't as much. The second one's always easier.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So-
sometimes you do have to do like 5 or 6 of them,
I
or, you know,
know.
sometimes it's a one and done and you're good. Sometimes you got to do 12 or 20. You know, just,
Well, and I do coming up, and then I do one coming down.
yeah.
And then you can, and I think, isn't this in the cryogenetics book? How to do tea strain eggs?
The tea strain egg is in the cryogenetics stew
okay,
book. Yeah.
So, yeah. So you
Yep.
can check it
Yep.
out there.
Yep. But, you know, those techniques, you know, the earthing, the cord
Oh,
cutting,
yeah.
and the tea strainer, gosh, you know, you get used to doing those, and it's so much easier for you to start picking up on yourself and start realizing, oh, this is who I am. This is who I is. This is who I is.
This is, yeah,
This is who I want to
save.
be. Yeah. But yeah, so it might not be like a physical body hack where like you press in on the ear to have this happen, but this will affect your physical body as well as your mind and all of your energy fields, and it'll affect your life stream too. You know, the more stuff you get cleared off, the more you get in tune with yourself and get all that junk cleared off, the easier things tend to move. They might not always, but you know, they tend to move a little smoother. So
It's
yeah.
it's whole life hacking. You know, it's your body and your soma. It's like it's
Yeah.
You'll like that. And I
Yeah.
have something else to say that we forgot. Recently I've done some upgrades on my property, and I painted my
yes.
dragons.
Uh-huh.
And as I was painting the dragons, I was singing the song "Paint Your Wagon," but I was singing "Paint Your Dragon." That is so funny. Like this big dragon. We'll have a picture of him. This big dragon. It's taken me like a couple of weeks because it's a big dragon, and I can only do a little bit at a time, and then I have to do touch up, and I was underneath his wing, and then went to stand up and bonked my head, and I said, oh, ow, and he says, sorry, and I'm like, it's not your fault. Oh, okay, he's metal, okay, it's a metal dragon, and he said, well, no, I said, it's not your fault, and then I said, it's kind of your fault, but you didn't mean to do it, and
Yeah.
he was just so cute. He's like, sorry.
I'm so sorry. I
didn't
know
mean
I
to do
can't
that.
move.
I can't move.
I know I can't move. I'm
It's
so
not
sorry
your
I
fault.
hit
He
you.
said, well, I can't move, but yeah. So
Yeah,
he's
and we
fun.
will post a new picture of the dragon too. If
then I
you've
have
watched
a-
our first videos, you'll see him in the background.
And he's like much awesomer.
Yes.
And then I've got a little
Yes.
dragon, and I painted him, and he sits in front of our walkway to our porch, and he's awesome, and he's got a little gargoyle sitting next to him, and yeah, so we're getting things spiffed up here, aren't we?
Yes, we are, little by little, day by day.
It's all happening.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I think that's about it for
is,
today.
and next time we'll
So-
tell you all the gnarly things that we did when we were kids. Really funny
You know, I
stories.
was just always going by the book, but you've got some good stories.
I've got
so.
some good stories, yeah. Far out stories. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So
You'll
we'll
like
see you later, everyone. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Have a good night or day or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
Have a good whatever it
Yeah.
is. Yep.
okay.
Keep rocking it, and as always, onwards and forwards, and don't let the bastards
bastards
win. Yippee.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.